are. Women are smarter, and that's why I shift the boundaries as I see fit. Mike needs to stick to it, and I won't go too far, but you know.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. Talking to you guys today about Put a Ring on It. We're dealing with Michael and Shea. I really want to discuss some of the comments that Shea made. I think I'm going to say this on the title. Michael needs to regulate or be regulated, because some of the things that Shea just said in this video are concerning to me, okay? Dysfunctional. All right, guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for a notification of the uploads. And for those of you returning as well, you got the minerals. All right, and as well, don't forget as well, if you are returnees, please as well join our Patreon, Little Black Book 91, and join us with some great content going on there as well. All right, let's get into the video, and let's talk about some real things. So in the video with Michael and Shea, I think some really bruv, let me just take this, like this clip here where Shea talks about, obviously women are smarter and that's why I shift the boundaries when I want. And let me just say this word, entitled. Okay, entitled. For someone to say that because women are smarter, they shift the boundaries when they want to. If this was a man saying this, the words misogyny, sexist, chauvinistic would come out without even a second's thought. To hear Shea say she shifts the boundary when she feels like, because she feels like she is smarter, she thinks she's better than Michael, is glaringly scary and controlling.
Women are smarter, and that's why I shift the boundaries as I see fit.
Okay, but the controlling aspect, she's only treating him as he allows her to be treated. If anybody is in a relationship like this, just because obviously it's TV, so let's say that it's part of it TV, but if anybody's in a relationship where it's similar to this kind of behavior, where you are dating somebody who shifts the goalpost whenever they want to, but keep you to a standard all the time, right? Because they feel they're better than you, that person is controlling. Okay, it's a toxic relationship to be in when the person has a double standard when it comes to you being partners. Now, obviously, adults to children is slightly different because the child is in the care of is in the responsibility of the adult. But when it comes to partners, there should not be, well, I'm a man, so it's no. Listen, there are behaviors that just shouldn't happen. This is one of them. Okay, the word entitled means a person's belief that they are inherently deserving of privilege or special treatment. Shea decided to break boundaries with Rick, allow him to pick her up, even though she had disclaimed that the boundary for them was a non-touching boundary.
Boundaries is he supposed to keep?
No holding hands, no two-hand hugs, no kissing, no being too close.
The picking up and the squats is not too...
And enforced it with Michael. So Michael obeyed that law, all right? Although he did break the law as well in the beginning with the phone number. You know, she then broke the law, right? And instead of saying, okay, you know what, I broke the law, my bad, you know, I went over the mark. We're getting a statement that you can do what you want because you are a woman and you're smarter than the man. This is a scary mentality to have, because this will extend into your marriage. This will extend into other issues in marriage. And we've seen from the whole of the season how Shea is quickly dismissive of certain topics, and I would say almost emotionally unaware of what she should be replying with or saying something at that given time. The way she dealt with the child situation seemed a little bit cold. Listen, I don't mind if you don't want children. But the way she was dismissive with the Airbnb comment, concerning the way when he was originally stating his emotions and saying, look, you know, because you ghosted me, and she's like, what, you haven't got over it? Again, concerning, didn't understand, was again dismissive towards his feelings. But it's been 2 or 3 times or even more where she's been dismissive of the point. To the point last week, even I think it was this week, where they were saying that obviously Michael felt a certain type of way. It was last week, and you know she didn't clock the fact that he was showing some emotion, which is what she wanted, right? She was like, "Oh, it doesn't matter what you want," right? This consistent dismissive behavior is going to continue into marriage because it's not being spoke about now, seemingly anyway, because on the screen we're not seeing it. That dismissiveness. And at the point, Dr. Nicole at one point was like, I hope you see what's wrong there. And she laughed and she was like, I hope you do, because she was being serious. No, I hope you actually see what's wrong, like what you're saying, right? The gravity of what you're saying is now you are literally saying you are a controlling person. And controlling people often happen because they feel insecure, they're scared, you know, and so they try to control narratives, right? So here's 4 signs of entitlement. Number 1, they think they're better than you. When she said that women are better than men, that was it. They hold double standards. When she decided that she was going to be lifted up by him and, you know, he didn't get to touch Whitney, double standard. Number 3 is they find it hard to play fair. They won't apologize. We know that already. They don't wait their turn and don't follow rules and find it hard to compromise. Well, we're seeing that already from her as well. And they manipulate and control others when that doesn't work, they threaten or become hostile, and they must show you superiority. I don't think we've seen that as much from Shea in terms of threatening. Well, I guess obviously throwing an ultimatum, but I wouldn't say necessarily it's threatening. But we see from Shea this level of entitlement towards how she feels, you know. And what's scary is that obviously when she's on a date, the guy himself, Rick, said, listen,
dating me knowing I have a boyfriend.
Honestly, I'm still getting used to it, but I don't feel like you're in a relationship because I feel like you're engaged to what we got going on. I love that, so I feel like we're going to end up dating.
I don't mind because it doesn't feel like you're dating anybody. Like you're making him feel that comfortable. He doesn't feel like he's dating anybody, and you want to talk about Michael. Listen, you know me. I will say anything about Michael, bro. Yeah, I keep it 100. I've done it in other videos, but this behavior is scary for me. Because it's something that will eventually rear its ugly head in future, and it will become a very, very toxic, embroiling fight. Because when someone's controlling and you are trying to break free that control, guess what happens? The person tries to control you more. And so that can become a very, 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 very dangerous relationship. If you are in one of those, please listen, do you know what? If you see the signs like that, it's a double yellow line. I'm sorry, sir, but you can't park your car. Meaning, don't come and stay there. Move. You know? And oftentimes people who are, entitled, they have a very closeted upbringing. They often been maltreated sometimes as well. And they hide insecurity to that leads to distrust, right? Because what they've experienced in their younger days or experienced in the past, right? They often have a grandiose image that protects their insecurity. So they have to be larger than life. They have to be, show you their representative. Because if they show you the true them, they will be exposed and they'll be vulnerable. And so the representative shows up and then they behave as they do. Oh, this is me. And I'm like, yo, Shea, tell me. And like, maybe I'm looking at it too deeply, but when she said those lines, I was like, yo, like, do you know what you're...
The picking up and the squats is not too close?
We were playing a game. So...
Look at my eye. Look at my eye.
Saying right now, you're basically saying you're not even just like you want to have your cake and eat. That's something different. You believe you're the superior one out of the two of you, and that's why you talk the way you do. That's why you are laying down the ultimatums. That's why you're being oblivious to the child situation. Even though I know he hasn't really brought the child situation towards you, but the mere fact that you say what you said, and she was making jokes on an Instagram post. Let's be very honest. It was jokes. But the F them kids jokes were just not funny because the young man could end up going on your page and seeing that. Joke or not joke, he's going to feel some type of way. Right? Yes, you only had a few visits with the young man. But again, comments like Airbnb, which obviously as well in the live, I think it was Tamika and Ashley even said that was a bit wild and told her it was a bit wild. And then she explained, listen, sis, no matter how you explain it, it was a wild comment. Accept it. It was wrong. But she wouldn't accept it. She's almost trying to rationalize and justify those behaviors. And I'm like, yo, you can't justify that. You can't justify that behavior. And so that's when I would say at a point when she was talking to Dr. Nicole and Dr. Nicole was saying to her, will you drop those boundaries?
Do the boundaries change now? Are you willing to let him have his experience? and see what happens.
Right, so that obviously he can also have you know, his time, because you've decided you're going to break it, you want to do whatever you want to do, right? And she said obviously, oh, you know, that the girl Whitney is way too late, you know, it's too little too late for the girl. So she knows that she has Michael in a certain position, right? She is playing the cards that she's also been handed here. She knows that Michael isn't trying to wrestle away, or so she thinks. Right, and so her behavior is a fight for her control. It's a fight for who's going to have power in the relationship, which is why the tit I said the tit for tat happens all the time, right? Whew, man, I'm telling you, you know, even when she went on a date with old boy Rick, interesting enough, on their date, the guy put a baited question, or I would say a leading question, which there was no loss to the question.
Okay.
And then if you shoot it and I miss, the floor is yours, whatever you want to do.
You got to pick me up.
If he loses, he gets to pick you up. If you lose, he gets to kiss you. First of all, there should never be that case of that. First of all, if you're talking about having boundaries, there should never be a game where you could potentially lose and end up being kissed. Because if it was Michael, you wouldn't have it. So there should have been never the case. I don't know how he lost the game anyway. He's a professional basketball player. Maybe he just can't shoot. I don't know. Maybe he's got a free throw like Shaq. I don't know. But he lost the game somehow, some way. Something that he's professional at. Okay. And so the picking her up, she was like, oh, you know, I wanted to, you know, it's my test. Well, how would you test that unless you win the game? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so that was your little test. Okay, cool. Again, the control narrative, right? And so, you know, either way, the guy was winning. He's gonna break the boundaries of physicality. Either way, for me, I saw that and I was like, this is for me. It's a bit weird. It's a bit mad, isn't it? Obviously, Michael and Whitney. I've already said Whitney has every right to lay down the law to Michael. In fact, Michael, you know, has a choice to make, and he has to make it, because at the end of the day, you can't string somebody along. And I said this in the last review. Watching Whitney and Michael, I know, you know, that Whitney had to let him know today's the day. You know, and he said, obviously, give me one more day. And
so yeah, I just need time, a little bit of time. I'm talking about another day. Just give me a day.
Like, blood, what do you want? One more day for what? What's gonna happen in one more day, bro? What's gonna happen in one more day? And so, you know, if you're a person like Whitney and you're in a situation like that, PEW, position, expectation, want.
Because I do like you, and I don't want to start liking you more, and then you're still on some like, oh, I don't want to make her mad type thing. So
look. If this doesn't change, I can't be here no more, right? Once she stated that, she left it up to him to say want. When he said, obviously, give me a day, I personally would say that's a no. Like, you know, I'm going to be honest with you. You're probably more than likely not going to, you know, you're probably not going to change your mind and be with me. Because if you were, you would have done it already. You would have just chosen it. Do you know what I'm saying? Right there and there, when I said it, you'd have chosen it. But the reason why you got to think about it is because you're counting the costs. And in that moment, I already knew that, fam, I don't think he's ever going to leave Shea anyway, you know what I'm saying? But back onto Rick and to Shea, what's interesting is that the guy he's not taking no for an answer when it comes to the kids. He's willing to have a nanny. And she was like, yeah, I like the fact that he's open to having a nanny, you know, because then we can still go out.
What I like about Rick is that he doesn't mind having a nanny and still being able to go out.
I was like, again, it's really about her, isn't it? It's really about Shea. It's the Shea show. It's about Shea. Like, no beef. It's just, you got to know that before you get into a relationship with Shea, that it is about her. Like, as much, and maybe it's a joke, maybe it's editing, who knows? But I think Michael said it himself in the live where we had, she's a bit selfish. And I'm guessing that's probably to do with the upbringing. Maybe one day we can have an interview with her and find out. But the way she determines things doesn't bring a win-win. It brings a win-loss. I've got to win and only me. In the way that she behaves with certain things. But with Rick, she's willing to compromise on the kid situation because he's unwilling to relent on it. And this is what I said about Michael needs to regulate or be regulated. See how Rick is saying, listen, you're going to have some kids. It don't make a difference. You're going to have some kids. And what has she done now? Well, I guess I'm going to think about it. Oh, the way he talks about kids makes me... Why? Because he regulated. Because Shea is taking advantage of the fact that Michael is not regulating, so she's doing whatever she wants to do. And so Michael has to regulate and let her know, listen, this area, listen, you need to fix up. That can't happen. You know, that can't happen. Nah. You know what I'm saying? So, man, there's a lot to deal with, man. I didn't even want to go too deep. Like, I'm sure we'll do another video, or I'll talk about the live that he did with Whitney, but I don't know. What's your thoughts, guys? Maybe I've gone a bit too far. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Again, guys, make sure you subscribe to the Patreon, Little Black Book 91. Yeah, man. I just felt it was something to be spoke about. I was like, Shea, you're moving mad with Entitled. Like, yo, that's controlling. Anyway, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of the uploads. We appreciate you. Stay locked and stay loaded, baby.